Hey, it's NOOCH. And from the beginning of this game, LEGO Star Wars Battles, NOOCH has always wanted to play with the missile launcher. And when the events came out where epic cards like the missile launcher came in at level 4, it really gave NOOCH an opportunity to play with it, and it's been a lot of fun. NOOCH uses the missile launcher a lot in events. However, it has still been a tower that has seemed impossible and impractical and not viable for planetary gameplay. Just your regular playing on a planet, regular gameplay. So, after playing at events for several weeks now and really working on it and trying to find a strategy, today NOOCH worked up a defensive strategy with the missile launchers and found out that it worked. And this is a viable way to play the game with missile launchers in your planetary player versus player mode, not in events, in your regular mode. You can see the missile launchers that NOOCH has here in this video. They're level 7, and everything else in the video is level 8, 9, 10. Well, 8 or 9 probably. But so these are actually under-leveled missile launchers, and NOOCH won about 70 to 80% of his games tonight. We lost against a couple of players like Talus and Balaran, who are really skilled players, and in one case, Talus has really high level units. So this was a really effective strategy. It's not like a 5-stud wipe your opponent out strategy, but it's a very good defensive come and get me if you can strategy to make your opponent really suffer while they're trying to get to your back towers and just taking a beating on the way, and you'll end up winning by one or two towers generally. So let's get into it. Let's watch gameplay. We see the first one's wrapping up here. We're going to win. Looks like we're going to win 3 towers to 1 probably here with 3, 2, 1. Well, we're going to last 30 seconds now. So NOOCH has the 2 missile towers, missile launchers in the back, and the particle beam in the middle. And that is the ideal setup. If you can get a particle beam sitting there in the middle where it's interfering with everything that tries to come through it, and then the missile launchers in the back, it is really hard to get through and destroy those missile launchers because you got to get by the particle beam first. And while you're trying to hit the particle beam, depending on how deep you are, those missile launchers are hitting you. Even in this case, he was able to get one of those missile launchers out and the particle beam, but it's just too much. It's just too much to get through, and NOOCH is able to win this game. So, again, you see it was close. It wasn't a throttling victory by any means, but definitely we had more missile launchers. That yelling gave me the COVID. Okay. Oh my. So here we go. We got a battle. NOOCH going against Bag Boy. And good luck. Thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down the BB-8. And we're going to put the missile launcher on the opposite side of wherever our opponent lays their BB-8. Or their units in this case. So looks like Bag Boy's already spending quite a bit. And we've got 2 missile launchers down. Now watch those missile launchers really do damage on the incoming units. You can see they both defend each other's side. If units are attacking the other missile launcher from even with it or inside, the other missile launcher will join in attacking that if it's not already engaged. The one drawback to the missile launchers, once they engage on a target, they will not disengage until that target is gone. So your biggest weakness, and Taolas pointed this out to me after he beat NOOCH, he pointed it out, that he waited until the missile launchers, he got a middle particle beam up, waited until both missile launchers were engaged on that middle particle beam, and then he launched his attack against the missile launchers. And because he had the middle tower, he could launch them up close, and since the missile launchers were engaged on that middle tower, whatever units were attacking them, the missile launchers ignored. And that was really a big advantage and a great way to actually defend against this if you come up against it. Get the middle tower, let them both lock onto that middle tower, and then go after them. Otherwise, you drop Ewoks or Porgs in those towers, even from close up, they're going to lock on them and hit them on their way in. Although close up is a little bit more, the Porgs will probably make it in because they'll get to the tower before it engages, and its minimum range is 6. But the Ewoks will start shooting it, and the missile tower will launch on and start hitting the Ewoks. So there's a few different ways to do this, but you'll notice that this has been NOOCH's primary way, is build the medical particle beamicle. fill up the middle particle beam, the back missile towers. You do the missile towers first. So what we haven't seen a lot in this game is a lot of missile tower action because Bad Boy's not been able to get past that middle particle beam to get to them. And so that's kind of an exciting thing for NOOCH. This is kind of the perfect game. This is really good execution. It's all kind of coming together. Even though the particle beam just got wiped out, we got 15, 14 seconds left. And this is pretty much over. He's going to have to get all the way down the field. That's the thing, is while you're coming down the field toward the missile launchers, we'll see if they get to engage here. They're going to engage that Flame Trooper and Stormtrooper, and we distract the BB-8, and by the time he gets there, it's too late. So you've got a long way to go without that middle tower approaching them from long range. You're going to get beat up on the way in. And if you're a flock of porgs or a group of Ewoks, you're going to, or a battalion of battle droids, you're going to get shredded before you get in. If you're launching those from long distance against those missile launchers, they're gone. And we should get an example of that coming up here in one of these next two battles where we see those flocks. Here's a flock of porgs coming in. We got the missile launcher up on the right side. See how it does kind of... Now, all right, so there's your example, actually the opposite. The middle tower is up, and that missile launcher engages the middle tower. So that is a great time to launch your attack on the missile launcher and take it out just like that. So get it engaged on the middle tower and then go after it. Unfortunately, though, we're going to win this because NOOCH is not publishing any losses on this one since we only had a few. And we really had a lot of success with this tonight. Really just trying this strategy out for the first time. We never had success with missile launchers, had done missile launchers, but never thought of the idea that, see, the goal here, since it has a minimum range of 6, and since it will shred units that are farther away from it, you want to get them up and make sure you have enough energy to defend. In this case, since there's nothing coming NOOCH's way, he built another one. Now after 5 energy, if he starts bringing stuff in that's too big for the missile launchers to finish, like a Flame Trooper or even a Luke or something, then we have time to defend. Or even if he gets something in close enough, we can use our other units to defend in within 6 range or less, because the missile launcher has to fire at least at 6 range. So anything 6 or less, or probably 5 or less, we can use our units to defend on those. But once again here, we had the 2 missile launchers up and back. Now we got the particle beam in the middle. We're doing some damage on his particle beam. Now the flock of porgs are coming in, but the Guavian's going to take care of those. And we're really seeing that once we get that particle beam up, this is a really challenging to next to impossible setup to beat. It is really difficult to get through the particle beam and get down to the missile launchers to do any damage. Let's see what happens. So he gets a BB-8 on the particle beam. NOOCH is not having energy to stop this. Looks like that particle beam is going down, and it is. You know, one really... Oh, it didn't. No, we got the Guavian in there to protect it. Yeah, NOOCH is a little presumptuous. You know what happens when you assume. Oh, so actually we're going to take out both of his towers. He did finish off that missile launcher in the southwest, the bottom left. But we're looking pretty good right now. Can we get in there and take... Yeah, we're going to take out those ports with the seismic charge. 9, 8, 7. Uses bomber for whatever reason. You know, again, NOOCH will point out, bomber runs that don't kill something or don't have a great purpose, you don't bomber run a tower without a really good idea in mind or without getting double damage or ending the tower. Just keep that in mind. I don't know how many times NOOCH can say it, but it's happened a lot. All right, last battle here. Let's do play-by-play the entire time. See what happens against Rudd. So we're going in. We want them to fix that first 4 cards, by the way. We'd like that to be random. Okay, BB-8 on the left, missile tower on the right. Opposite side, because a BB-8 can get in on your tower, and you don't want that to happen. Now we've seen, since he put up a tower and spent the money and spent on Darth Vader, we decided to put up our tower because we know that Rudd spent some money to do that. Now we use the Boomer Balls and the porgs. We got Vader frozen. He's probably going to get a special off, though, right here, what NOOCH would imagine. No. So the tower is still locked in, but now, see, Vader's too close now, and that's what happens. Once something gets within 6 on that missile tower, it's going to end it. But we're still in pretty good shape because we got the porgs, we took out that middle particle beam, and we took out Vader. Now we should be able to use, what did we put in there? Okay, BB-8 is on the AT-AT now, so we'll take that out. And again, see the missile launcher engaged on the AT-AT on the other side of the field. Now we allow the Guavian to engage our missile launcher and use the porgs to finish it off. That's always a good strategy. If you can let the Guavian engage, it fires volleys over, so you can drop those porgs right in there on top of it. There you see a missile launcher ending. I think that was 2 stormtroopers, and they were probably down in health. It ended them before they even got there to hurt it. It is really important for you guys also while you're doing this. Just remember that BB-8 will get in on it. You've got to have the R2 or the C2 unit. You've got to be able to heal them back up because it's likely they're going to take damage in most situations. Looks like we're going to finish off that particle beam with the missile launchers and the porgs combining. We got less than a minute left, and we're pretty even Steven here. So NOOCH has about a 5 energy advantage, which he just spent on Luke. So now we're coming at him with Luke. He's going to have a special load by the time he gets there. Again, there's that bomber run. There's that bomber run. A complete waste. A complete waste. It did not end the tower, and it allowed me to continue on my march down the field, and we're probably going to end that particle beam because of that bomber run, because it left our opponent exposed when they wasted 4 energy just to hit the particle or the missile launcher without even really doing enough damage to do anything. There again, a seismic charge for no apparent reason. You got to be smarter about that stuff. You got to go value on your seismic charges and bomber runs. Anyway, so here we go. We got the tower stun with BB-8. We're going the porgs. That tower's going down. We have 3 towers to none. That's the perfect setup. Guys, if you can master this strategy to put those missile launchers up in the back, the particle beam in the middle, and just make sure you have enough energy to defend those missile launchers, you should be in good shape to win some battles, get some studs, and make your game better. And NOOCH too good.